highly intelligent footballer, Mario Balotelli, is in trouble for having made an anti-Semitic remark on a social networking site. He said that Jews were good at catching coins, a familiar slight, and it came only a week after the chairman of Wigan Athletic, Dave Whelan, made a very similar comment, supporting his manager, Malky Mackay, who had said exactly the same thing just before. Now, this is the world of football. Should we take any notice of it? Are these sort of just low-level racial slurs, or is there something more sinister at work?
I think it is a worry. It betrays a kind of an underlying racism, anti-Semitism that isn't always publicly voiced. And when it pops up, it's a reminder that it's still there, even if you think life is all good.
There's only 270,000 Jews out of a 60 million population in Britain. We are a microcosm. But there's been a sense of a new anti-Semitism that I've written about in the last few months, a sense of anti-Semitism linked to Israel and what's currently taking place in the Middle East.
There's the feeling within the Jewish community that anti-Semitism is being given a degree of succour by the liberal left, with its opposition to Israel's actions against the Palestinians, and that anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism merge into one another almost imperceptibly, and it's very, very hard these days to draw division between the two.
It is clear anti-Semitic attacks go up when there's conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
What do you want? Justice! We want it now!
Gaza was an absolute disaster for the Jewish community. There was a convergence in anti-Semitic attacks, and Gaza was used as a stick to beat the Jewish community over the head. I'm proud of Israel and its democracy and what it stands for, but even I was made to feel guilty for the actions of a country that's 1,500 miles away.
I think it is hard sometimes to differentiate between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, because there are certain tropes that play out about how the extent to which the Israel lobby controls the media.
That's right,
or,
yes.
Those kind of things that really feed into the existing anti-Semitic ideas, and the singling out of Israel as well becomes part of the concern that people have.
A lot of it is to do with elected officials. People like David Ward, the Liberal Democrat politician, was tweeting constantly in the summer, blaming the Jews for the situation in Israel. And it's messages like that that Nick Clegg sends when he doesn't remove the whip from people like that causes a lot of concern.
Some time ago, another extremely likeable footballer, Nicolas Anelka, made a profound anti-Semitic gesture known as the quenelle, which was based on a gesture invented by a French comedian. And he suffered considerable sanction from the FA as a consequence.
It's a red herring throwing Balotelli into the same
Do you think
sentence
it
as
is?
Anelka. Yeah, Balotelli, at the end of the day, there was no sinister intent behind that whatsoever. The guy's Jewish anyway in terms of his adopted mother. But I think when you have someone like Anelka, who knowingly premeditated a quenelle gesture, that is sinister intent. That is something that is a huge worry to the Jewish community in Britain in a year where there's been more anti-Semitic attacks than any other on record.
The picture is complicated because certainly this summer that's just passed, there were lots of conversations happening amongst the Jewish community saying, yes, we do feel more unsafe and we are concerned. But at the same time, there is also a reality that Britain, regardless of the Dave Whelans of the world, is a good place for minorities to live, and we are protected. And the fact that we can have this kind of discussion reflects the reality that there are lots of people who find racism and anti-Semitism abhorrent and are campaigning against it. And so the Jewish community does have a very good quality of existence in the UK today, but at the same time we're still worried.